everybody, to another episode of the Round Table. I'm Dustin here with Ben. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm just joking. A lot.
I was going to say, it's a lot.
A whole lot. There's a lot going on right now. But it's exciting. It's fun. And we'll kind of announce it here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's kind of fun. It's a busy time. Thanks for your help, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Whole new adventure. That's what life's all about.
Yeah, that is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Creating adventures.
Yeah.
What about you, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
What's a kind of a special day today?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit older. Just a little bit. Maybe a year older.
So it's Dustin's birthday today. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Yeah, the day we're recording, it is my birthday. I mean, that's just another, there's no excuse not to do it. Well, I mean, we have a lot. You, me, we could figure some excuses out, but why not get it in, get it done, and get it out of the way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, so on that topic, so kind of mentioned it before we already hit the record button, but, I wanted to to do a cool little episode about just experiences that I guess reflections on this last year. There's been a lot of growth, a lot of changes within you since your last birthday.
That is true.
I guess what would be your top reflection of from last year to where you were to where you are today? What would be something that you're like, this was
finding more of a self-worth.
Self-worth, okay.
More than anything. Like going through the Limitless event and then 2 rounds of 75 hard and then one with my wife, and finding more like confidence and seeing more growth like in the way my body is. I mean, you guys can't tell because I'm wearing a baggier shirt this morning, but seeing all the definitions start to pull in, seeing it, figuring out, well, I can have this and that, but it's in moderation, but just really dialing in on myself more than anything. Like that's been my focus since the Limitless event, which kind of all coordinates because it was about a month and a half out from now is when they did it. So it's almost a year since they did the very first one. Mm-hmm. But for me, there's been so much personal, internal self-growth, focusing more on myself and not trying to be like a people pleaser person as much, because it never pans out
right
in life. So somebody's always hurt in some way. It just depends on how they get hurt. But.
Right. So you're saying self-worth is your number one. What is it about, you kind of working on your physique and I'm assuming your mental and was part of that as well.
Absolutely.
What about that was so transformative that you feel like what was the kind of like clicking moment of like, okay, I've actually, like, was it one day you woke up like, I feel confident, or is it just over time you still showing up for yourself?
It's just over time of showing up for myself. I mean, just in the 75 hards, that's what, 160 days, 150 days that I've put really, really good effort into watching what I'm eating, drinking plenty of water, working out the twice a day, reading the self-help books, all that kind of stuff. Just, it all helps. It proves that you can do it, that if you really want something, you can achieve it. And then also, I mean, it gets you in a better habit. I mean, the first round I finished, and the next day I was like, man, I feel lost as shit. Like, we talked about it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I feel so lost. And I didn't know what to do. Like, kind of fell off pretty hard. And then I had a little, my deviated septum fixed. And so then I was really off of it for, like 3-4 weeks. And I'm like, I got to get back in because I just didn't feel right anymore. But after doing this last round, it's like, I need to pay attention to more of what I'm eating and making sure at least 100 ounces of water a day, if not more. And then at least, try to still get all my macros in line. Just because it's, when you're taking care of yourself, you feel so much better about yourself. I mean, so much better.
How do you feel like that translated to your life, like your day-to-day, like with work and with your family and did that correlate or kind of transfer into your
Oh,
dynamic with your family and stuff like that?
oh yeah. I mean, as you know, going through 75, you deal with some shit less, which that's the good and the bad in it, is because you try to you start looking at everybody else and you're not comparing yourself, but you got to remember I'm not better than them just because I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Which that was one of the things through the process, and my wife and I talked about it, and we're like, she's like, well, because we were talking, texting back and forth one day, and she's like, well, you got to realize you're not better than them. I'm like, well, I know. I'm like, I strive to not be better than anybody. I strive to be better than myself, and I strive to continue to work hard at that. Just because I chose this life doesn't mean I'm any better than the guy that goes out and drinks every weekend. I mean, do I think I'm better? Probably, but in the end, no. I mean, we all have our own unique skills and talents, and it's just I always want to keep learning. As far as work goes, I mean, I've always worked very hard when I'm there and paid attention, and I'm a pretty quick learner. But it also is there are times I'm like I'm not dealing with that. I'm standing up for myself more. No, that's not right. That's not what it was. No, and more accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You fuck something up, hey, that's my fault. I'll take the blame for that kind of a thing. So that's been helpful, because if you can take accountability, people are like, oh well, yeah, I can count on you. As far as like family goes, yeah, I mean it always can get better when you see your kids out there wanting to do more things. And during the 75 hard, we both would go walk. We'd go to the park, and watching my youngest conquer the monkey bars and be able to do them at 5 years old all by herself. When we started this, she couldn't. And now, through the process of us being more outdoors, more doing different things, she was playing in the monkey bars like it's no big deal, or my oldest learning to teach her how to ride a bike without training wheels, or, watching them play out on a skateboard, like just realizing more that, yeah, it might be uncomfortable for me to sit outside because it's a little bit warmer, but I've also, walked in this temperature for 45 plus minutes. It's not that big of a deal to sit out here and watch them play.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, my wife and I both we're more on the same path again. You have those times where you seem to fall out of path with each other, and it was nice to get more back on path with each other to try to figure out, okay, this is what we want to do. And we realized so much throughout it.
I like that.
And then, I mean, we more or less quit doing a budget, which if you Automatic Millionaire, if you've read it, he talks about not necessarily having a budget, but paying yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
which, I mean, my wife is extremely smart when it comes to all this shit. She started doing this all before I started reading the book. But, once I started reading it, it's more of a mental thing. I'm like, okay, I can understand. But then I have things I can go to her and be like, hey, I think we should start doing this, like paying a little bit more on your mortgage, like, the whatever 10% of your mortgage to pay an extra payment a month,
Mm-hmm.
make sure it goes to principal. It really isn't that much a month
Mm-hmm.
in the grand scheme of life.
No. Just prioritizing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just learning how to prioritize more. I mean, those were, as far as like personal, I mean, as you can tell, I've started wearing tank tops again that
Mm-hmm.
are way cut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, I've got the shoulders and the arms to do this more. I feel better in them.
Right.
It's like when I started the gym, I was wearing tank tops just on like upper body days. And then I stopped and I started wearing t-shirts every day.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I'm going to try it. And now I'm like, I'm going to wear a tank top every day. Like, I worked my ass off for this. Like, why not enjoy what I've worked so fucking hard for? So, and just being able to stand up for myself, like there was like an incident at work, and I went and, I calmed down before I dealt with it, because I'm like, I know myself, so I'm going to back off for, a day or two, but I'm just going to go nip this in the butt, and it's not that it was exactly what I thought it was. I don't want to get into details, but it was exactly what I thought it was, but it's more me just being able to stand up for myself and not let these things just like go under the rug.
I love
and
that.
just be like, well, I guess it is what it. No, that's not how we're doing.
So, what was your? I'm not gonna use failure. I mean, but what was your biggest like learning point? Like something that you said, like maybe I failed at this, but I got a good learning out of it from last year to this year.
Oh, life. That's I've probably failed more than I can count,
Okay.
but the biggest thing is I would say realizing that I might have overreacted about something.
Mm.
Like, for instance, my daughter, we were trying to get them to clean their freaking damn rooms for like 3 days, and I finally kind of lost it on her. I wasn't, the guy you see out on the street screaming and yelling, but I was very. Oh, my cat's trying to say hi. I was very aggressive, and she started crying. Like you can see her paw come through the door.
That's hilarious. She's like, get me in here.
Yeah.
Let me
She'd
in.
probably come sit on our lap.
That is funny.
But anyways, I got frustrated with her, and she starts crying, and then my wife's like, "Great, now she's crying," and I'm like, at first I was like, I'm just gonna go to the gym because it was a Sunday and I hadn't gone to the gym or anything. I was like, I'm just gonna go, but I'm like, if I leave this house, nothing's gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I've got to take a deep breath, go in there, and have a more civil conversation with her and get her to understand why we're trying to do it. Like Andy Frisella says, I got to paint the picture to her and how she's going to incorporate into that with me.
Mm-hmm.
And after I did that, she calmed down and she cleaned her room and she had fun. And because she was complaining that cleaning's not fun. I said, well, it's how you make it.
Mm-hmm.
You want it to be fun, have fun. I don't care if you have a dance party while you clean, just you got to clean too.
Right.
And it worked. She cleaned most of her room. And then, I'm like, hey, do this and you'll clean this section. Just tried to break it down. I'm like, I'll give you an hour to just go sit and watch TV.
Mm.
But then you got to finish, okay? And she actually did. And, it turned out better. But it's realizing that I don't have to be such an ass all the time. Or, some things might be too aggressive on. And realizing that a lot faster.
Yeah, that's a hard lesson for sure. I mean, I think sometimes, I mean, just parenting itself is a hard. I mean, like we've talked about this before. There's no manual. We kind of pick up what we kind of know, and then everything else is improvised of what you feel is best. And sometimes, I feel like raising a kid is just it's meant to be show you patience. And there's so many lessons in everything, and you're literally showing a little human being how to be a person and how to not only be functional in life and in the outside world, but then also how to handle emotions, how show them how you're handling emotions, how you're handling said situations, so they can build on that. But I think that's a great lesson. I think that's
I'm nowhere near perfect at it. I mean, we took him to the park, and I was just getting frustrated because, you know, Macy, my youngest, is crying for her. She accidentally hit a kid, and then she felt embarrassed, and she started like throwing this massive fit. And my wife's like, "Well, you're not making it any better."
yeah,
She's like, "I just want to go home." She's like, "All right, let's go." And she kept crying. I'm like, "The truck's right there. Like, go."
yeah,
Like, because it's just frustrating. I mean, we're hanging out with some other people. I mean, granted, they all have kids. I mean,
everybody
there
knows.
was two guys out of like 10 people there, so it was just all women that we were hanging out with. But oddly enough, both of the people we were hanging out with had two girls also.
There you go.
But it's just like trying trying to not feel like we're the ones making it a bad situation, but I mean, it's what it is. I mean, she's young. She still doesn't know. And I mean, my therapist was telling me that, kids' brains develop between like 0 and 5, 1 and 5 the most. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, fuck. The worst years of my life happen to be the most crucial of yours. So,
yeah,
and it's something that we've been battling. I mean, she gets in these little modes, but I've learned how to kind of work with her on them. Not that it helps the whole time, but sometimes it calms her down enough that she can have a little conversation with you.
Right.
Because yeah, she gets a combination of us where she'll scream, but then she shuts down like my wife does,
Mm-hmm.
but she does them together. So
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the good. I mean, we've talked about this, right? We make mistakes.
oh yeah,
We're not perfect, and we're going to quote unquote like mess up our kids somehow, one way or the other, in some characteristic they're gonna get to that we wish they didn't have, or they would have seen, or they would have been through. But those are all life experiences for them they can build on. That's the way I look at it. And the good thing is that they have parents that are actively aware of what
mm-hmm.
things they're trying to improve and what they can do better. So you can attack and help these things progress forward now versus, shout to my parents. They never did that. They never owned up to it. They never talked through these things. So and even just seeing you guys work out together, even just seeing you work out in general, even seeing you read,
Mm-hmm.
even seeing you accomplish things together. Dad's trying to be better. Dad's been working on, not yelling as much, or the explosiveness. All of these things, if they choose to see them in that light of like, my parents are actually trying to be
Mm-hmm.
better. And those are all things that are great. I mean, I think, yeah, our parents didn't do that, and that's no fault to them. They just didn't do it. And so, but we can do it, and we can show them those things. And I think that you have that on your side. It's just the willingness to actually do something better. So,
And people say kids are the greatest, and they are, because they teach you so much through life. I mean, I don't have patience for a lot of things, but I've had to learn a lot of patience, especially having two girls
mm-hmm.
and one that has. And I had a little realization because I actually had a conversation with my daughter the other day, my oldest one the other day. We were getting ready to go to the lake, and we'd gone to a reunion, and I'm pretty sure she left her swimsuit top in your father-in-law's trailer. Was the final realization, and because we'd gone swimming the day before, or no, we'd gone to a birthday party at a splash pad the day before, and she couldn't find her top then. So she had to squeeze into her old one, and she's like, it hurts. All in all, we probably should have gone looking for a swimsuit that day because we knew we were going to the lake the next day. But, went home, and I looked around, and then that following morning, this was last Sunday, looking around, and I'm like, look, it's not, I tried. I looked yesterday. I looked now. I don't know what to tell you. And she's, freaking out. I'm like, just put something on. I'm like, if you want the chance to go get a new swimsuit, just be freaking ready to go. And I mean, I'm mad. I'm irritated. She's kind of starting to cry. The wife gets home, and she's like, well, do you want me just to take her now? And I'm like, why the hell didn't I think about that? I'm like, no, I'll take her. You got to go shower and get ready so we can leave. So let's go. I'll get her. And she was happy. But on the way, I'm explaining to her, I'm like, look, I have a realization that you're a lot like me. What you find important is not what I find important. It was a moment because I'm like, that's a big trait of mine. I'm like, you'll see me do it where I'll go work on the garage, but mom thinks it's more important for the house to be cleaned. But to me, this garage is important because she can't park, or we're tripping over things getting in and out of it, whatever the case might be. I said, you're a lot like me in that way, where you might think it's more important to go say hi to the cats or to go do this, when in reality, like, we're trying to do something. We're trying to leave the house. So it was nice to kind of have a one-on-one conversation with her as we're going to get her a swimsuit, and she calmed down a lot, and it helped me calm down a lot because it's like, did I need to freak out that bad? No, absolutely not. She doesn't know any better. There's a solution to the problem. Easy. But my mind, I'm trying to load the truck, load this, get everything, and I'm stressing about my part because I'm like, I don't want to get to the lake and forget anything because we're not going to be right next to our house or anything. So, I can't forget the paddle boards, the food, because I'm about to make, that's my job when we do this stuff, is to make sure that I have everything ready for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm stressing about that. But it all in all turned out really good, you know. And then when we were out on the lake, she was caught on our friend's paddle board and was paddling around. She kind of got upset. And I'm like, hold on. Like, she started to shut down. I'm like, no, like, trying to help her. I'm like, all right, like, let's figure out how to paddle this together.
I'm assuming that's Aspen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gam went through some of that
Yeah.
around that age, the
Yeah.
shutting down phase where
Yep.
they try hard things and then they just kind of, I'm done.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep going, keep trying, because then they'll get that quitter attitude stuff.
She did really good for a while, but the other, we were all trying to get back. So I was like, all right, you did really good, but like hop on with me. We'll take it over to them. Like,
yeah.
And then she wanted to swim back, and I'm like, I just want to, like, let's get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Like, you're not you don't have a lot of experience in swimming right this minute. And I'm like, I'll let you get off, but let's just get closer because, I mean, we're pretty much by the no wake zone at the lake, which if anybody's ever been to a lake, that's 50 feet out or whatever. For me, I could swim it back, but
it's pretty far. For a little kid.
I'm like, I don't want you to be super tired, so let's get closer, and then you can hop off and swim in. And I mean, she was mad at me for a while, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, last two things that I have, and next one being gratitude. What's one thing that you're super grateful for from last year to this year? Something that you can look back and just be like, that was an awesome moment. It can be a trip. It can be just a moment in life, from your last birthday to this birthday.
I mean, I'm glad I got to go a little bit farther back than that, but
okay.
I mean, I'm glad that we took the time to take our girls to Disneyland last year. That was a unbelievable trip for everybody.
Yeah.
Money aside, that was by far one of our best family vacations. It was great to have the time with the girls and to see them experience a bunch of new things. And having the opportunity to go to the Limitless event. It feels like it's been longer than a year, but it really hasn't.
It hasn't been more than a year?
No, because it was... Has it? I don't know.
It might have been. I don't know.
Maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't remember.
I don't know. It was good, but yeah.
No, because I think we had Limitless, and then we had our trip after. I don't know. I could look back, but now I got myself questioning. Hold on, let me look.
I think it was 2 years ago. 2022.
No, it was 2023.
Wow. Okay.
Limitless event 2023.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it seems so much longer than that for me. Wow. Time flies. Hey, it's not that fast as I thought it did.
Yeah.
Okay. So just the vacation and Limitless.
Yeah. Wow. That's a trip. I'm just like looking back, trying to figure it all out.
So
yeah, because was a fucking.
What'd you say about the because you mentioned the Disney trip a couple times?
Yes.
And is it just was it the expression on your family's face? Is it just seeing how excited your girls are? What about that moment?
Hearing Macy squeal when we saw the ocean was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, so backstory to all of that, like my youngest came home around Thanksgiving or whatever with or Christmas, New Year's, something like that, with this thing from the gym that's like, I want to do this next year. And it was like family time, ride a roller coaster, take an airplane, see the ocean, and unfortunately we lost Grandpa. He passed away, and that got my wife kind of in this mode of
memories.
Yeah, memories, and tomorrow's not promised, all that kind of shit. And so she's like, I want to take girls to Disneyland. I'm like, it all started with, we just had flights from home. That's how the whole thing started. And she's like, we go to San Fran. I'm like, all right, book it. And I think she did, but she was in a window. She's like, well, I found Long Beach. It's going to save us money. I'm like, cool. So I think she canceled that one and booked Long Beach. And once she started looking at Long Beach, she's like, ooh.
You got stuff
She's
to
like,
do.
Disneyland's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Knott's Berry's right there. Take the girls to Huntington Beach. Like, all this stuff. So it went from, just let's get the hell out with the girls to a weekend packed full of stuff. But yeah, surprising them. They were a little confused when we gave it to them. They're like, oh, okay. Don't know what this is about. But once they like realized, getting them to the airport and, flying on the plane with them and, once getting the rental car, they thought that was the coolest thing. Getting our Turo rental car and then, driving. We can't check into our Airbnb yet. We're like, oh, let's go hit the ocean. And as soon as she saw it, my uncle's just squealed, was so excited, and got some food, let them play in the ocean and whatever. And then them having their own room in the Airbnb together that had a TV and bunk beds. Like, they thought that was the freaking coolest damn thing. And, so that was fun. I mean, we went on a trip to Kanab, which it was a pretty good trip. I mean, for kind of celebrate my grandma's birthday, because that was actually yesterday, the day before mine.
Oh, okay.
So to celebrate hers, and went down, and we ended up, our cousin has a friend that owns a house down there, and they're like, yeah, go stay in our house, just pay the cleaning fee. We're like, that's even freaking better.
Dang. All right.
Like, so, but we got to go on that trip, had some fun on the way there, and then had a good time hanging out with my cousin and his wife and their three of their kids, just hanging out, all in the house together. And that was nice to get back in touch with them a little bit and, see some of my family from Arizona and stuff. I mean, and then had the Limitless event, and that was a great time. Learned a lot and whole new spark. We got to meet some pretty awesome people, connections that full circle came back to you last weekend,
That's crazy.
And then my wife and I went on our cruise, which that was, I mean, we had a great time on that. We learned a lot, but we'd already grown quite a bit, I know we'd talked about it before, but like, it's crazy being able to focus on like protein and have this whole new focus on life where you're like, oh shit, like, yeah, I can enjoy this food, but I'm also going to find a more hearty protein-based food to enjoy at the same time. Like,
Right.
And explore Miami and see the beach and play in the ocean and, hang out with our friends and cruise and enjoy some time, and
I love that.
And then this year, the 75 hards have just been, I mean, if there's one moment that started it all, it was, I got to give it to Keaton. It was the Limitless event.
Yeah.
The whole reason I got like really into Tim Grover, I was already kind of knowledgeable about him, but that speech just fucking knocked me over. And I'm super pumped that we got to like meet him. And he seemed like what he is, a very hard but genuine person. So that was fucking awesome to be able to meet him and get a picture with him.
Yeah,
so
that was sick. That was cool. Good. I love that, man. Last one next year. What are you looking forward to next year, man? What's your game plan from here to your next birthday?
Yeah, I hadn't thought that far in life.
You got it, man. Put something out there right now.
I know. I've got. I mean, I want to keep seeing this grow. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
I want to keep watching me and you grow and interview more and more people and cooler people and just keep going and growing. Keep focusing on myself. I want to be better than I was. Hopefully more tatted.
That'll be
by
for sure.
hopefully more tatted. That's already starting.
Yep.
Got that booked out. I'm super pumped for our trip to Moab. That's less than 5 weeks away, I think.
It's crazy. It's flying.
It doesn't help everything going on in life.
It's going to be great. It's going to be. We haven't had a trip with you guys on our own, so
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, once we did actually.
Yeah, we went camping.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And that was like outside of both of our like mine and Taylor's comfort zone, because she don't like to camp outside, and I'd never done it by myself, and it went really good. We had a hell of a good time. So I can, and now we have the girls with us, and I don't know, it's gonna be.
That's funny. That got brought up the other day. I think Taylor was talking to Soph about that
Was
the
she?
other day. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was one of the first trips without her dad.
Yeah. Yep.
Like camping trips. I mean, she's
Yep.
gone on trips and stuff, but
Yep.
you know, and
I left it all up to me, and
yeah.
I tried to make his gravy, and it didn't turn out as good. So
Well,
now I know. Now I know all his secrets. That was my whole objective.
I don't blame you, man. Fucking,
But
that food that man cooks is phenomenal.
but no, man. I am. Thank you for sharing that. You
Yeah.
know, and I know I didn't want to just put you on the spot, but I felt like
No, that was
maybe
good.
being your birthday, and
I wasn't sure what the hell we were gonna talk about.
there's just a lot of reflections. You know, there's a lot of things that change, and there's things that we want to do better, and the last part is just speak what you want, and I love that you want to grow more. You want to, there's so many things that you want to do, and I know that the list is endless, but at least you have something now that we can look back on next year, and did we accomplish some of the things that we both have, and yours is speaking out to existence, and and it's also good to hear the gratitude stuff that you're grateful for the year. We talked about the mistakes, but the gratitude part is always so good to kind of lean back on, because those moments are what will get you through the tough times, or got you through some of those tough times, and learn the experience that you had to go through. And it's always just so good gratitude is just it's so good for you. And
You have to do it.
I can always see the smile on you, and tears kind of come through when you talk about your kids and the trip. And I think it's just that your why to me is so clear for you. And I think you can do so much this next year if you really use that to your advantage.
That's the goal.
And
That's
so
the goal.
you can really do some damage, and just grow yourself into something that you already are, but even bigger. And I'm excited to see kind of what you got planned for this next year. Obviously, we'll be on some of these things together, but I'm excited for you and your family, and I'm excited that I get to be a part of your birthday.
Yeah.
And it's just you're a great man, so don't lose that, and
I appreciate it.
Keep going, man. So.
I appreciate it. I'm honest, like I said, I'm super pumped to see where we go from here, at least as far as our channel goes. I'm super excited to see it grow, and like I said, have more people on. So if you guys are watching, if you have a story to tell, let us know. I mean, we've got a handful of people in mind already, and I mean, you're gonna see more of. We got to get your wife on. I'm gonna get my wife on some more, even if we have them on just to talk like we're talking.
We might vlog the Moab trip. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We got to definitely we got to do something about that. We're at least gonna record down there.
You'll see the kids. Maybe you already saw his. You get to see mine, and meet the wife. And I don't know. We got so much for you guys, and it just takes time, and it's taking growth. And with him along our sides and our wives, I'm more than confident that we can.
Oh yeah,
we can produce something great. So
we got this. It's just a matter of time. I mean, we're coming up on. I think we're really close to 6 months since we released our first episode. Because it was in February that we released it.
Yeah,
we're coming up on almost a year of working on this project,
and we've been consistent.
We have.
We
missed 1 week for a good cause.
Yeah.
We tried to we got backlogged a little bit doing life, but we were still recording. We took 1 week off to try to get you guys some more teasers out there.
And to be fair, we could have recorded. We just it is an executive decision that we.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you, bro. Seriously, and I hope you have a phenomenal birthday. I hope you get everything.
I appreciate you.
I know that your wife's gonna take care of you. You got your beautiful girls around you, so that's really all we need. I feel like we're simple men, and if our families are happy, we're happy. So, but I hope you enjoy it. Take the day to really embrace the type of man that you are, and enjoy your day today, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, that's what I told her. I said, I just want time with the family. You figure it the hell out from there. She made a joke last night because I'd done it last year for her birthday, or the year before for her birthday. I was like, I dropped her off at her friend's house and went and picked her up. Because, I mean, some of y'all might not know, I've been with this woman longer than I should admit. No, I'm kidding. I've been with her for 19 years almost, since I was like 15. On and off for a little while, but at the end of the day, like, never really did the whole dating, so it was super fun. she actually made a joke last night. She's like, "So should I send you away while I finish getting ready?" I'm like, "I honestly thought about it. Like, why not? It's kind of fun. I mean, you've done a lot more of the dating, so it's new and fresh still for us. Sometimes, we take each other out and do different things, but I'm like, I thought about it.
Rolling up,
Go run some errands and come back and pick you up.
Mm-hmm. Knock on the door.
Go take the trailer back or something,
I love it. That's so good, man. Well, I love that for you guys, and like I said, thanks, man. I appreciate you, bro. Seriously, so.
I appreciate you getting up early. I mean, we had a late night.
Yeah, it's another day, man.
It's gonna be a good day today.
Yes, sir.
Got a lot to get done, but we'll get it done.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
What's your challenge for them? What do you want to challenge them to do this week?
Oh, man. Honestly, if there's anything, dive into yourself. I mean, more than anything. Do something for yourself. I don't care if it's take 10 minutes to go sit in a room with the lights off and just think about your life, or go to the gym for the first time that you've been scared of. Do something for yourself, because that's been huge this year.
Love it. Well, happy birthday again, man. And thank you guys for watching. And thanks, man.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you guys. See you.